I made cookies last night. I'm gonna eat a part of one. Good, right? Mmm. 51 and rainy. 69 and cloudy here. It's supposed to rain though. The Asian lady is out walking. But she's wearing an all black outfit. So even if it rains. If she's like wearing an all white outfit though. This Dunkin' coffee is freezing cold. Bought it 9 a.m. this morning. Which is odd. I always like knowing the weather for everybody else though. It's like a bonding thing. I'm getting some writing in because I don't feel all that great. There she goes. You look phenomenal, for an Oprah. I appreciate that. Coming from you, that's really a treasure thing. There's that coming out on Netflix soon about the Go-Go Beach serial killer. Might could be okay. I had not heard that. That'd be good. I'm just enough with the. Let's not do another Ted Bundy or fucking Dahmer one. Oh, this one we're gonna do one about Ted Bundy, and it's his aunt's second cousin's janitor of the school he went to. We're going to get an insight from this person now that always knew Ted was creepy. Like, enough. There he is, speaking of enough. Peter March in the house. I switched from the Love Boat channel to the Columbo channel on Pluto this weekend. Did you finish the Love Boat? How do you know how it ends? What happens to the boat? Does it sink? Does it hit an iceberg? How you doing today? Not good. Not good, Peter. I'm going to be honest with you. Not good. Tom Duffy bonded with my mother-in-law this weekend. They watched Monk together. And then Tom went into the yard. He went next door and he fed the horse. Well, Tom's having a crazy time over there at my mother-in-law's. My only gripe is the guy hasn't even gone to trial yet, so it'll be another open-ended doc with no real resolution. Yeah, I don't like those. Whenever we watch 2020 on ID or whatever that other one is, then there's no end of it. I'm like, why couldn't you just wait? Peter wants to know what's the matter. My side is hurting again. So, Monday and Wednesday last week I went to physical therapy. And that chick just stretched me out. And then Friday I was supposed to do the exercises on my own. I did not. I went to breakfast with Wynn and Andrea. The Magnolia Cafe. Got a breakfast burrito, which is delicious. But then I sat in that booth for too long, and then I had to drive home. So it was kind of hurting. And Friday also, my wife left for Dallas for a few days to see her sister. Actually, to watch the dog, so her sister could go and deliver one of the dogs to Las Vegas. So she left. And then Saturday, I got no riding in. I just basically laid around. And it was hurting a little bit then. Then I went to Georgia, which is half an hour. Hung out with Wynn again and his Georgia Writers Group people. We're a little... I know they have a lot of ideas. They have a lot of ideas about branding and selling books without actually just writing the books kind of people. But there was one woman there, Caitlin, and she was nice to look at. I'll say that. She was very nice. And then I drove home. And then I was in pain, and heating pad and ice pack and pills and on and on. Didn't seem to help. And then I've been sleeping in the bed again, which is nice. And I woke up in pain. I woke up Saturday night with a freaking. I had a nightmare and a half. I don't know what he was even about. People were getting killed, and we were hiding from somebody. Maybe the Gogo Beach serial killer. Who knows? And and then I was just wide awake at like 4 in the morning. Could not go back to sleep. And then yesterday I watched. I've been watching Swamp Mysteries with Troy Landry. He's on the show. He's not here hanging out with me watching, and that's a pretty good show. You can never understand him. Thank God they put subtitles in for his Louisiana accent. And I watched a shit ton of episodes of that because I had only watched a couple of episodes. So I started from the beginning, and I watched like the first couple of seasons of that, and I was just in pain. And then I also had a physical therapy this morning at 7:45 a.m. That was the only time that they had, and I was like, son of a bitch. And it wasn't even with the chick; it was with the guy. So I set my alarm for 7. Not that it mattered because at 5:15, wide awake and hurting. So at 7:45, I went, and the guy stretched me for an hour, and that fucking hurt. And the only thing that was good, and it was I didn't get a chubby, so it wasn't gay. Is that I laid on my side and he rubbed my ass cheek, point where it really hurt, and that was that made it feel better. But I'm exhausted, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to McDonald's. I'm going to McDonald's and have a big breakfast with hotcakes. And I did. But I was like, you know what? No coffee. I don't like Dunkin' coffee. I don't like McDonald's coffee. Next door, Dunkin'. Stopped in, grabbed the coffee. Came home, did my TikTok video. And I ate and everything. And then I was like, I'm fucking exhausted. I'm going to bed. I'm going to sleep for a few hours. Then I'm going to get up and do Twitch. Well, I could not get to sleep because the pain was bothering me. But I did read more of the nuclear assault, the Glenn Evans autobiography. I read a lot of pages of that, and then I got up and I'm here. That is always a miserable feeling. Peter says it is. Waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to get back to sleep. That is awful. And usually that happens when my brain turns on. I'm thinking of some life garbage, or I'm thinking of a book or something. It was just like, no, this pain is going to be just enough that you're not going to get back to sleep. I never knew swamps were so full of mysteries that it warranted an entire series. It's a fourth season now. So far, Swamp Mysteries is the guy normally does the Swamp People show, and he hunts alligators every season for like, I don't know, 15 seasons now. This dude and a bunch of other dudes have gone into the swamps, and you're allowed to catch X number of alligators, right? Because they're a nuisance. There's so many. But on this new thing, when it's not alligator season, he gets a call from a buddy in Texas that says, hey, I'm overrun with wild boar. And can you come out and shoot all the wild boar? And then he goes out with his gun, and his other buddy goes out with a gun, and then some chick, I don't know if she's 12 or if she's 50, because she looks, I don't know, she's got like some white hair. She has a bow and arrow. Or she's got a crossbow, I think. Anyway, they go out and they killed like 30 wild boar in one night. And there's still boars. They had to kill another 30 the next night. And then last night there was in Voodoo Swamp in Louisiana, which is one of the honeypots that Troy's brother Guy usually catches all of his alligators in. There's nothing. There's no animals, there's no fish, there's no gar, there's nothing. And it turns out that the water's so low and the water from the Gulf is coming in, and there's sharks. There's friggin' what do you call it? What do you call them? Bull sharks. Friggin' juvenile bull sharks eating everything. So they had to catch all the bull sharks. No bull. Anyway, every time every episode is there's a new. It's not as cheesy as like Destination X or any of those anything. Like a lot of people are like, oh, it might be the the Rougarou. It might be, a voodoo curse and all that. He's like, yeah, I don't believe in any of that. It's what's there's a creature out here eating everything. We got to find it. Invasive species. Like he went and caught pythons and stuff in Florida. No wonder you have a glow. I do have a glow, don't I? McDonald's coffee is awful, but not White Castle awful. I don't think I've ever had White Castle coffee. I don't think I want to now. The problem with McDonald's coffee is it's so fucking hot and strong. It's akin to Starbucks for me. And no matter how many, like literally half of it would need to be cream and sugar, and I don't think it would be, good enough to take a sip without burning your mouth on. As Frank says, I missed the Gator Boys. That was a fun show. I don't think I've ever watched the Gator Boys, but I watched Swamp People. There's Tom Duffy. We were talking about Tom Duffy. You're not hanging out watching Monk with my mother-in-law? The Turtle Man show is the best wildlife show that wasn't the Crocodile Hunter. I don't know what that is. Here's what I've never had White Castle coffee. McDonald's coffee is like drinking water out of an ashtray. Yeah. McDonald's coffee is just not good. But luckily, I have the Dunkin' is right next to the McDonald's here. So if I had to get up at, leave the house at freaking 7:30 in the morning to go and get fondled by some dude, I'm gonna get a big breakfast of hotcakes. White Castle coffee turns legit gray when you add creamer to it. I've had coffee that's done that. Maybe I have had White Castle coffee. I mean, I had to have, right? In 20, 30 years of my life, that seems reasonable. I don't know. I just don't know. So I have 9:45 a.m. on Wednesday. I have my next. What do you call it? My next physical therapy. But I think I have the chick again. For some reason, she doesn't rub my butt cheeks. I don't know why. There's a cool Alpha Flight, isn't it? My Alpha Flight shirt that I had, the one with Puck, I ripped it. It got a little rip, a little tear in the front, and I was like, I'm not throwing this out. I love this shirt. And my wife saw that I was upset, and then she bought me this one. It's the old retro Alpha Flight shirt. I like it. Yes, Frank, yes. Anyway, these cookies are delicious. I'm not supposed to be eating them. Really haven't eaten all that great this weekend because my wife has been gone. She'll be gone until I think late tomorrow night. She'll be home, which is another good reason that we're not going to AuthorCon, because she'd have to get home at midnight on Wednesday, and then Thursday we'd have to get in the car and leave. So, no, thank you. Next page, you know what I'm saying? Next page, Peter Mars. Next page. So I'm reading the nuclear assault uh, uh, autobiography, and I like it. So here's some of the things. I'm just gonna say here's some of the things. Um, did you catch the low key kiss hubbub over the weekend? I don't believe so. Was it they're doing another show or some stupid shit? Because nobody actually retires. Because of money. I clap my this work when you clap. Good. That's what you gotta do. Hear that as Geezer Butler's bad, right? As I'm reading it, I get to page 81. No baby fights, and he's still not in nuclear assault. Page 125 of the book, which is basically half of the book, he finally meets Anthony Bermonti. And they ask they ask him to come and audition for their band, which will be Nuclear Assault. He's also moved. He's lived in like Toms River and North. He's lived all over New Jersey, and he details basically like, so for the 42nd time, I went back to my sister's basement and lived, and then then we moved into an apartment, me and this guy, but then he overdosed and died. And basically, the cops arrested me for the 15th time, and of course, I had weed on me. So far, like his entire life, all through the 70s and into like the early 80s, into the mid 80s, is the cops harass me all the time because I have long hair, and I'm also an asshole, and I also smoke a lot of weed. And I also move me and my drum set about, I don't know, every 3 weeks. I also didn't realize, I don't know why I didn't realize it, he was in TT Quick. Remember TT Quick? Thrown Together Quick? He was in that band, and he actually played drums on their first album, which I didn't know. And they recorded the second album, the Medal of Honor one, but then they kicked him out of the band. And some other dude stepped in. He also auditioned for and was in the 80s, right after You Can't Stop Rock and Roll from Twisted Sister. They hired him to be their drummer, but then he got something dropped on his foot and fucked up his foot. He couldn't play bass drum for like a month, so they basically got what was AJ Piro, whoever the other dude played. He could have been in Twisted Sister. There was a lot of interesting things in there, and a lot of Jersey stuff, which is very cool too. TT Greek, the band that, yeah, exactly. The band that never did anything. They had a couple of songs. That dude went on to sing for Accept. Hey, Mom. How does everybody feel about a MILF wearing a onesie? This chick is wearing a onesie. Her and her daughter pulled up. They have their bike helmets on. They're on their bicycles. And Mom is wearing an olive green onesie. And the daughter's looking for a book. And she better fucking close it, or I'm going to be pissed. On Saturday, I was sitting here, playing my baseball game for a little bit, and some asshole pulled up and opened it up, and all the kids grabbed books, and then they just left it wide open. And then they opened the top one for no reason, because they're kids, and they left that open. And then I had to go out there and fucking close it with my side hurting. Mom's got a very baggy onesie on, though. It's almost like MC Hammer. You better fucking close it. Do not fucking drive away. You little fucking piece of shit. She's turning around. Thank you. Fuck. Close it all the way. Close. You don't have to fucking close it like a fucking barn? Oh, Mom got it. Mom's like, you didn't close it all the way. Because you piled up the books on one side on the other, you fucking little bitch. I hope when you get older, you're the worst stripper ever, you little pain in the ass. I hope nobody gives you anything more than sturdy singles they've had in their butthole. Little asshole. They grabbed 4 or 5 books, though. That's good. Just fucking close it. You look stupid with those helmets on. This shouldn't take this long. This should not take this long. What are you doing? Close it. Don't act like you actually read, lady. She glances with disgust. She's like, ew, is that a copy of Socks? I watched some comedy things last night. That Schultz guy, his one, which is basically all about him having a kid. I hate when comedians get married or they have kids, because that's all their comedy now is about kids. That, and then that Jimmy Carr. Have you seen this guy? I've seen clips of him, which are funny, and I was like, oh, let me watch this. And then I realized, oh my God, he is really over the top, like the British version of Anthony Jeselnik. But he says, he's talking about, this is going to get a little risque here. He's talking about stepdads. And he says, any stepdads, and a guy's in the front's like, yeah, I'm stepdad. He's like, we shouldn't call you a stepdad. We should call you a motherfucker. Big laugh. Big laugh from everybody. Like, no one's ever heard that one before. And then he says, how do you feel about the socks? I thought of Tom Duffy. I was like, oh, he's pitching Tom's book out there. That's a nice thing. But it's some other cunt's kids is what SOCKS stands for. I had never heard that before. All right, what did I miss here? Come on, don't do that. A onesie, yeah, a onesie. Literally a olive green onesie she was wearing. It looked kind of weird. And she did not have the booty for it. She's one of these little skinny bitches. I'm sure she goes to Pilates. I'm sure she's on her Peloton bike every morning. Honestly, a woman in a onesie isn't going to do for me. You know what, Peter? Me either. Is a onesie like a Jane Fonda leotard, or a onesie like ass flap John, like a Jane Fonda one? This did get dark quickly. You need like a secret GoPro there so you can cut to LFL cam when these incidents arise. This section is going right on the review page. I tried the new Bert Kreischer special, but only made it like 15 minutes. I'm not a fan of his either. Like, I like his podcast when he's telling stories and trying to be hip, like he knows all these people. But otherwise, his comedy is not really that funny. This is going to translate well on YouTube. Yep. That's what I need. You know what? Let's go to the LFL camera. I could probably put a like a trail camera on the tree. Tom, figure out how I can do that live on Twitch. Switch from the web camera to a camera strapped to the tree out there. Or maybe an overhead branch looking down. Or Tom, buy a drone. And anytime I say, oh, we have somebody at the library, then you automatically launch the drone from the driveway and then just hover above them. There's a lot of good things we can do to make money on Twitch. To now, if a woman in a onesie looks like Rogue from X-Men or another superhero, that does work for me. If they like they had there from an exercise video from the 80s, not so much. Yeah, she definitely looked like she was in the 80s exercise video. I'm going to be honest with you. The giant white bicycle helmet did not help either. Who's out there? So I'm looking at Neil's, across the street at Neil's, and I see the fuck am I looking at? The angle of it looks like there's somebody in my driveway, but on the other side of the truck doing something. That might be the douchebag next door, Harry. Maybe he's finally cleaning up his fucking mowing his lawn or something. Maybe it's an angle from over here. I don't know. I don't know who it is. They don't. Maybe they're not in my driveway. A lot of shit happening outside here. I mean, it's like I'm living downtown Manhattan. So much movement and stuff. Oh. Ooh. Anyway, I'm going to read more of this book. I'm about halfway through with it. And I'll probably go to bed early, to be honest with you. I'll watch some more Swamp Mysteries. Where am I writing today? Not much of anything, obviously. Down in Dirty 5, obviously I just jumped to another page. Apparently, I want to start a YouTube series called Armand Gets to the Bottom of Shit from His Office. You know what? You know how much money we would make with that? I would just need some cameras set up, right? Legally, I think I could do that. You're out in the public, right? Like if I had a camera, it's mounted on this window, looking out in the street, then I don't think anybody, you know, you're out there. I'm allowed to film you. The goal is to get to the bottom of this page. That is the goal. The goal right now, however, is to figure out who the fuck is out. I think it's the other side. I think it's the way the window is slightly tilted. Who knows? No, it might be. It's douchebag over here. So this guy comes to my door on Friday. The guy over here, Harry. Hold on. Because he's got 3 slats on his fence on our side here. One slat is on the ground and the other 2 are leaning. They're like the top one's knocked out. And he knocks on the door. He's like, "Hey, I forget your name again." Armand. Shelly's your wife, right? Yeah, Harry. Oh, you remember my name? And I want to say, yeah, because you're the fucking asshole neighbor. Of course I know that your name. You're a fucking jerk off. What can I do for you, Harry? I got some slats I gotta bang back in. I said, all right, go for it. Well, you got the gate. I said, there's no lock on the gate. Just walk through. Just close it when you're done. All right, I'll knock when I'm done. I said, I don't want you to knock when I'm done. When you're done, I'm a little busy right now. Because I was actually trying to take a fucking nap on the couch. Okay, no problem. 3 minutes later, bang on the door. What's up, Harry? I don't have the right nail. See, I need the 5-inch blah, 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 but I only have the 2-inch, and I don't think that's going to hold it. So I'm going to have to get nails. I said, okay. Well, it's getting a little late now. Now it's like 4 o'clock. I mean, you got like 3 hours till it gets dark. So I'm going to come back tomorrow. I said, okay, I'll be in and out tomorrow. Okay, well, I'll knock. I said, don't knock. I won't be here tomorrow. Okay. I do my thing Saturday, do my thing yesterday. He hasn't fixed it. This morning, when I get home from McDonald's slash Dunkin' slash physical therapy, I go in the back to shoot my video, and he's standing in the yard. And he didn't see me or anything, and I wasn't going to say, hey, what's going on? I just kept silent, sat in my chair. He hammered the one back in, and he did not hammer the other two. What the fuck are you doing? You and probably buy generic Ring cameras and put them on top bunch of feed your studio program. What's funny is my wife did buy a Ring camera like 6 months ago or more. We just have not put it in. And I don't even know why she bought it. I'm like, I'm always here. But I'm like, you know what would be good though? Because then I could be sitting in here and I could look and go, oh, they want to sell me a new roof. And I'm like, what? We noticed that there's a thing where it's fine. The shingles are fine. Get off my property. No soliciting. Can't you read? There's no sign. I'm going to let the dog out. This dog will kill you. One of the few benefits of renting is that whenever solicitors come to my house, I tell them it's not my house, and they walk away. Here's something even better, Peter, when you own your house, and you can tell them that you rent. Because then I own the house, but I can lie to people. So that also works. But I'm not paying anybody else's mortgage. Pay my own. My back itches. Somebody spent some money. When we first moved in here, 11 years ago, 12 years ago. Thank you. Back itches. The guys used to come around all the time with the trucks with meat. They'd knock on the door. Hey, yeah, our boss accidentally threw an extra order of meat. Now, it's normally like $500, but for $150, we can give you 6 burgers and 5 this and 6 of these and 9 of these, you know. And they would knock, like every day they would come around. Then I answered the door, and the guy started his speech, and I just put my hand up and I said, I'm vegan. Meat is murder. And he went, oh, okay, man, I'm sorry, we won't bother anymore. I said, I would appreciate that. And they got in the truck, and he told the other guy, and then they drove away. Then we never saw them again. When the obnoxious Verizon guys in Walmart ask me who my cable provider is, I tell them I steal my neighbor's cable, and that stops the bitch in tracks. That's a good one. Yeah. You ever go to a mall? All those malls here are now just basically flea markets. Yeah, there's I think we got one mall left. We're in Florida, so everything is an outdoor shopping center, which makes no sense. Every fucking time someone runs to your house, yeah, they do those kiosks. But yeah, anytime we go to Sam's Club, they're always attacking. In fact, the last time my wife went to Sam's Club, young Mike was doing some pitch about windows or something. He works for some window company trying to harass people to buy windows. I would just keep walking. I'm like, no. Hey, excuse me, sir, do you have a second? No. Just keep walking. See what it sounds like going up and getting the free sample. Well, there's no free window samples. Like, it's one thing, the food ones. You just walk up and you're like, oh, a tiny little piece of carrot cake. I'll take a piece of that. Oh, 2 little meatballs. I'll take that. But when they're like, hey, what kind of windows do you have? My house does not have windows. I'm vegan. We don't like windows. Windows is murder. No, you just keep walking. I'm really not a big sample guy. I am vegan. I read a shed. Exactly. I read a shed. Guess what my shed has? No windows. Yeah, F. Bill Gates is right. Exactly. I used to go, there was a mall I worked at in Sanford here in Florida. And they had their food court, was gigantic. It was 2-level food court. And they would always have the people out giving samples. And you could literally make a meal out of it. And after a while, though, they would, like every day I'd be walking, they would see me coming and they would like turn their back to me, like, you're not getting free food. You never eat here. But like, I do eat here. I eat a free, oh, look, here's a tiny little cup of fried rice. Oh, here's a little meatball. Oh, here's a little piece of a hot dog. And I would go through and I would grab all the samples and I would eat them, and then I was there was my lunch. Delicious. Hmm. Oh, I'm fucking tired. I don't know what I'm gonna have for dinner tonight. I gotta make my own dinner again, like an animal. Obviously, I had a big breakfast with hot cakes for breakfast slash lunch. I ate those last 3 cookies, which I should not have eaten. Okay, energetic and you look energetic and I do. I do. I'm about to fall asleep. I'm gonna watch some more Swamp Mysteries and see what else. The one he did, they were giant lizards. They thought, the rumor was, in this part of the woods, a Komodo dragon was out there. They did not find a Komodo dragon, but they found a lot of other types of lizards that are not supposed to be out there. I had to go back to work today after spring break last week. That does sound brutal. That does sound brutal. Frank, Tom, letting you guys know. I don't know if Nick is on or Amanda is on. Chuck Buddha will be here for MondoCon 5 / Shelley's birthday party 50. Chuck will be here. If it ain't a Komodo dragon, it's a monitor lizard. They were thinking it was a monitor lizard. But they didn't find anything that was big enough. But they did find other different types of lizards. Because apparently, in Florida, people buy exotic pets from Brazil and then immediately release them into the wild like assholes. Which is why we have such a horrific python problem down here. The pythons now are eating the gators because they're getting big enough. And then you get the wild boars are just eating everything. What a life I lead. What a life. That's why I need the cameras out there in case a wild boar fights a alligator, fights a garp, fights a python, like a 4-way battle. Wait for real? Yeah. Watch Swamp Mysteries on the History Channel and you'll see all of these crazy friggin' things going on in this world. People are nuts. Nuts, I tell you. Maybe I'll skip dinner tonight. I'll just drink water. I need to lose weight. With my wife gone, I'm just eating like a gavone. I think I gotta poop. I will likely not be on tomorrow. I might be. Who knows? Yeah, eating like a python. Yeah, anytime I eat anything, like, oh, I'm going to eat these hamburgers. Well, you know what I do? I wrap myself around them. I squeeze all the juice out of them until they're really dead and cooked. Then I eat them. Hotcakes and poopages. Those wild boars, though, are like 400 or 500 pounds. Those things are huge. Near my mom's in Ormond Beach, near Daytona Beach, we go through what's called the loop, the woods, to get there. And we used to actually see a lot more. They started building houses back there, but we would see tons of wild boars. I remember me and Caitlin one time were driving, and I had to stop because it had to be like a 400-pound wild boar, just standing in the middle of the road staring at our car. And I was like, I'm not getting anything anywhere near this thing, and I'll back up because this thing will just total my car. And then, like, I swear, like 30 little boars, whatever they call little boars, boarlets, they just ran across the road, and then the boar walked off. When we lived in Palm Coast, there was an armadillo in the yard, and a wild boar. My kids were little. They're like, look at the armored thing. I'm like, that's an armadillo. And then this boar ran from like the woods, ran and just bit right into the top of the armadillo, ripped right through the shell and just ate like half it. I'm like, all right, let's all go over, get away from the door while this thing is gonna rip this thing apart. Good times, good times. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm fucking tired and I gotta poop. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. All right, everybody. I might be on tomorrow. Definitely, obviously, I will be on Wednesday. I appreciate you hanging out with us. We got into some controversial things we talked about today, which is always exciting. I will enjoy the poop. You have no idea how fun this is going to be. Everybody, reminder to subscribe or resubscribe, and also follow me on YouTube. Get all your friends and family to follow me there too. It is slowed down again. Appreciate it, Peter. Appreciate you hanging out with us today.